What is it about this group where resiliency, things like what happened to Sophie, what is it about them that seems to bring the best out in them?
It's going to be hard to talk about without getting emotional. I mean, first and foremost, they're good human beings.
Picture this. You're watching what should be a routine basketball game. Indiana Fever versus Connecticut Sun. The Fever are struggling, down by 20 points, missing their superstar Caitlin Clark, but they still have Sophie Cunningham, their heart, their soul, the glue that's held this injury-plagued team together. Then it happens. In one moment that lasts maybe 3 seconds, everything changes. Bria Hartley drives to the basket, loses control, and falls directly into Sophie's leg. The sound Sophie makes, a scream of pure agony, cuts through the arena like a knife. She's on the ground, clutching her shin, tears streaming down her face. And people everywhere start reacting.
Scary moment as we went to commercial. Sophie Cunningham hit the floor hard.
That's like she tries to slide over right there, and Hartley just kind of falls and makes collision with that lower leg. You see her immediately grab it.
People are saying it was done on purpose. Sophie's own family is posting on social media calling it an attack. Fans are demanding investigations. Some are even saying they're done watching basketball because of what they saw. And that's when everything exploded. But what's really surprising, in the middle of all this chaos, Kelsey Mitchell does something remarkable. She scores 38 points and leads the most unlikely comeback you've ever seen. So what really happened? Why are people so upset? And what does this mean for women's basketball? This story has everything. Controversy, drama, a strong comeback, and a coach who breaks down crying after the game.
It is a groin, but it's such like a weird injury because she doesn't really, like, she's not in pain all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But then like when you do hurt it, it's like, okay, you're out for another. So I think they're trying to be like extra cautious so she doesn't kind of have those little setbacks.
This isn't just about basketball anymore. This is about what happens when fans feel like their team is being targeted and how one game can change everything. Before we dive into what happened with Sophie, you need to understand just how brutal this season has been for Indiana. One analyst called it the season from hell, and honestly, that's pretty accurate. There's this running joke that someone out there has a voodoo doll of every Fever player and just keeps stabbing it with pins. Think about it. Caitlin Clark, their franchise player, has only been able to play 13 games. Ari McDonald and Sid Colson both went down in the same game. Season-ending injuries. Now Sophie. But here's what makes Sophie's injury so devastating. She wasn't just another player. She was the emotional heart of this team.
Boston is fed, wrapped up by Nelson Adona. Oh, and Cunningham is down. My goodness.
Every dead ball, every timeout, every time a teammate needed encouragement, Sophie was right there. She was the one getting everyone fired up, keeping spirits high when things got tough. And the girl was playing hurt all season. She'd rolled her ankle multiple times, had been dealing with injury after injury, but kept playing through all of it. And that's just who Sophie is, like relentless, tough, never makes excuses. So when she goes down and she's crying and screaming on that court, you can see it in her teammates' faces. This wasn't just losing another player. This was losing their emotional leader. Let me break down exactly what happened with Sophie Cunningham. Early in the game, Sophie is doing what she always does, playing tough defense, being the team's energy. Bria Hartley from Connecticut drives to the basket. Kelsey Mitchell is guarding her. Sophie comes over to help. Then Hartley falls and lands right on Sophie's leg.
When Sophie goes down, I guess, just how did you guys rebound from that? How did you rebound from that? How long did it kind of take you to get out of that fog, so to speak, as you're watching the team go?
I felt like it was deja vu, man, to be honest. I felt like I just saw AB on the ground covering somebody else up, and it was just, I think part of it is really, really, truly humbling.
Sophie immediately grabs her shin and stays down. The training staff rushes over. They go to commercial break. This clearly isn't something she can just walk off. And Sophie's the type of player who usually gets right back up from contact. This is where things get interesting. Sophie's sister Lindsay immediately tweets, and I'm quoting here, "WNBA, maybe you should focus less on fining players for complaining about your terrible refs and more about hiring refs who can actually protect players." Her mom goes even harder, posting that Hartley is a disgruntled player who plays out of control, but it gets worse. Fans start claiming they saw video of Hartley laughing while Sophie was hurt. As one viewer puts it, the other video angle shows Bria Hartley laughing and smiling from the ground.
Saw how the players were acting on the bench. If you heard and you saw what Coach White had to say after the game about her team, this win meant something to them. And I even put as the title of my live stream today, I said must-win game.
It was intentional, and suddenly fans start connecting dots that concern them. This is the 4th injury in just 2 games against Connecticut. Caitlin Clark got hurt against them. 2 other Fever players, Ari McDonald and Sid Colson, are out for the whole season after getting injured. Now, Sophie, fans are calling it targeting. They're comparing it to football plays that would get you kicked out of the game. Some are saying Connecticut plays dirty on purpose. A highly liked fan post reads, "Hartley was targeting Sophie all game. She knocked her in the head earlier when they were nowhere near the basket." People are split on what they think happened. Some believe it's just an unfortunate accident that happens in physical sports. Others are convinced it was deliberate targeting.
Group really has come together, and whether they are winning or losing, they do have a sense of togetherness. Like we've said, it's been a wild ride when it comes to injuries, when it comes to Caitlin Clark going down, their franchise player only playing a small stretch. I think it's only 13 games that she has played this season with the team.
After Sophie gets hurt, the Fever look completely done. They're already missing Caitlin Clark, who's only played 13 games all season because of her own injuries. Now they lose Sophie, who's been holding this team together. They go into halftime down by 20 points. 20! Against one of the worst teams in the league. Viewers watching live are posting things like, "This game's over," and the team has no fight left. And honestly, it looked that way. This team has been through everything this season. Injuries, drama, close losses. It seemed like they were finally broken. Then something remarkable happened. Kelsey Mitchell only scored 4 points in the first half. Just free throws. She couldn't buy a basket. She looked tired, frustrated, maybe even defeated. But after halftime,
and then you talk about Ari McDonald and Sid Colson being out for the rest of the season, both of them going down in the same game. And then you look at today's game where Sophie Cunningham went out in the first half. And that was such a huge blow for the Indiana Fever.
She became a completely different player. 38 points total. She scored 24 points in the second half, then another 10 in overtime. That's 34 points after halftime. She was hitting shots from everywhere. 3-pointers that looked difficult, steals on defense, making plays for her teammates with 6 assists. Fans couldn't believe what they were watching. One fan captures it perfectly. Then Mitchell became Michael Jordan. Unreal. Another fan posted, "She scored 34 points after halftime. That's impressive." But it wasn't just Kelsey. Aaliyah Boston put up 14 points and 13 rebounds. Natasha Howard added 18 points and 9 rebounds. Even Odyssey Sims, who just joined the team, scored 19 points and had 7 assists in her first start. This was pure heart. A team that refused to quit even when everything was going wrong. The game goes to overtime. Remember, this team was down by 20 points at halftime. Now they're fighting for their season. They win 99-93. But the most emotional part happens after the game. Coach Stephanie White, who fans have been criticizing all season, breaks down crying in the locker room, not happy tears, emotional, exhausted tears. She tells her team, and I'm quoting directly, "These players have something inside of them that you just can't teach. They bring it out in each other, and it allows us to get through these incredibly tough times. It gives us a chance. I'm so incredibly proud of them for continuing to believe." You can hear it in her voice. This isn't just about winning a basketball game. This is about people who've been through hell together and still found a way to fight. The reaction is noteworthy compared to other sports stories. Some Fever fans are convinced their team is being targeted. Fans are saying things like, "This league makes me angrier than it entertains me, and someone needs to investigate what's happening." They point to patterns. Every time Indiana plays certain teams, someone gets hurt. They're calling it everything from voodoo to conspiracy.
They don't care who gets the credit. They don't care whose day it is. They got something inside of them that you just can't teach.
One passionate fan states, they're taking out Fever players one by one. But then you have other basketball fans focusing on the actual game. They're talking about Kelsey Mitchell deserving MVP votes. They're debating whether she's playing better than Caitlin Clark this season. Some fans suggest others need to apologize to Odyssey Sims for doubting her. Others are praising the comeback as one of the best they've ever seen. It's like two different conversations happening at the same time. So where does this leave the biggest story in women's basketball, like Caitlin Clark? Most fans think she should sit out the rest of the season. With Sophie potentially done for the year, with the team's playoff chances hanging by a thread, why risk your franchise player? A thoughtful fan explains it this way. If you want Caitlin to have a long career and you don't want to risk making her injuries worse, just keep her out this season, especially with Sophie out and 2 other players already done for the year. But here's the interesting part about competitors like Caitlin Clark. They don't think that way. According to reports, she's eager to get back out there and help her team. The Fever's remaining schedule is brutal. They have to play Minnesota twice in a row. They have games against teams that have beaten them this season. Without Sophie, without Caitlin, can this team really make the playoffs? What this game showed us is simple. Never count out a team with heart. Never count out Kelsey Mitchell. And never count out players who, like their coach said, have something you can't teach. This game represents something bigger than just one comeback win. It's about a team that's faced every possible challenge and refuses to break. It's about fans who are so passionate they see problems everywhere, and it's about a league trying to manage its biggest stars while dealing with questions about player safety. The fact that fans can watch the same play and see completely different things shows you how emotional this sport has become. Fans are split on what should happen next. Some want investigations into dirty play, others want better refs. Some want Caitlin Clark back immediately, others want her to stay safe. But everyone agrees on one thing: this team has something special. Whether they make the playoffs or not, they've shown they won't give up. So here's what I want to know from you. What do you think really happened with Sophie's injury? Was it just an unfortunate accident, or do you think there was something more to it? And what should Indiana do with Caitlin Clark? Bring her back for one last playoff push, or keep her safe for next season? The voice of the people is split, and I want to hear what you think. Drop your thoughts in the comments down below, and if you want to keep up with all the drama, performances, and controversy in women's basketball, make sure you subscribe. Because in a sport where anything can happen, you definitely don't want to miss what happens next.